Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to our presentation today, celebrating Minnesota Physical Education Standards in Action. I'm Mary Thyssen-Milder, and I serve as a physical education specialist at the Minnesota Department of Education. I'm happy to be partnering with MnShape and MnDAPE to support all the great physical education programs in our state. I'm entering my final year at MDE, so I've been doing some reflection about what I wanted this year to look like. I want to be very intentional about my planning and about this time I have with you. My first thoughts are really about appreciating all of you, the great work that you do, and your commitment to your students. So my presentation today is about celebrating you. After 6 long years of preparation, we're finally in the year of standard implementation, and we've got a lot of things to celebrate. The first thing to do is to look at some examples of our standards in action. We'll do that by looking at some examples of how your colleagues are implementing the standards in their gymnasiums. Next, I'd like to highlight how physical education has embraced social emotional learning within the standards and also recognize the positive impact that unified physical education has had on our students. Finally, I want to take this opportunity to honor the 2023 MnShape Award winners and recognize the MnShape Board of Directors and the MnDAPE Leadership Committee who are so willing to volunteer their time to ensure our teachers and students have what they need to be successful in physical education and adapted physical education. The frame of a house is equivalent to our educational standards. They provide support to build the goals of a student's educational experience. As teachers, you make the standards come alive in the classroom in your interior design choices. You add color by activating the standards in your curriculums, assessments, and activities. This presentation is to celebrate how you, as Minnesota teachers, are adding color to our standards to bring them alive. We've spent a lot of time the past few years talking about bundling standards and benchmarks. It's not feasible, nor is it best practice, to teach to one benchmark at a time. Therefore, we combine or bundle benchmarks to create cohesive chunks of content that will be taught in integrated or connected ways. This is where part of the creative process, or coloring, as identified in the previous slide, begins. Bundling helps students see connections between concepts, brings coherence to instruction, and can allow more efficient use of instructional time. Here's an example of a Minnesota elementary physical educator who identifies the bundles of benchmarks they will be working on during their catching and throwing unit. When students come to class, the teacher has already determined the activities they will be doing to work towards each bundle, starting with a clear understanding of what success looks like in a meeting each bundle. So what does success look like for these benchmarks? This is what it looks like. The next few slides will show you bundles of 3 benchmarks that teachers have put together. Remember, there are many ways to bundle. The examples provided have 3, but they can have many more. The examples identified the benchmarks with a photo to portray the activity. It's unfortunate the photos are stagnant because it's really exciting to see the bundles come alive in the activities. The next step after the bundle is to determine the performance outcome by combining all benchmarks that describe clearly to your students what is expected. Following the performance outcome, identify assessments that align with different pieces of the performance outcome. For each example identified, there's a short list of some potential assessments that will help both the student and the teacher be able to express what success looks like in the bundle. These are only some of the potential assessments. Most will be formative and be addressed within the unit. One may be identified as summative or the final assessment. The following examples are from things I've seen or heard about from our teachers. Examples of our standards in action. Here's an example of a teacher's small bundle in a 3rd grade manipulative unit that focuses on throwing and catching. Students will play catch with a hand-sized ball. First, they will practice throwing overhand with accuracy to a stationary target. Next, students will gently throw the ball to a partner. The partner will catch the ball, demonstrating 3 of the 4 critical elements of a maturing pattern. While this activity is occurring, the teacher will observe the activity and provide helpful cues to improve their throwing and catching skills. The students will listen to the feedback and try to implement their teacher's cues. Possible assessments throughout the unit could be, but are not limited to, checklists, rubrics, observation, and exit slips. This is a really fun rhythms unit created for a 4th grade class. The teacher is using rhythm sticks to meet this bundle. While observing the teacher, who is modeling how to combine the use of the rhythm sticks and movement, students will combine and sequence locomotor and non-locomotor skills, transitioning from one skill to another without hesitation and with correct responses to various rhythms. They will move safely during the rhythmic movement. At the end of each class period, they will provide feedback on their self-perception of rhythmic movement and patterns and identify what they could perform right away and what was more challenging. Possible assessments are not limited to checking for understanding, checklists, rubrics, observation, and exit slips. At the end of the 5th grade, students should have the confidence to utilize manipulatives and be ready to move into gameplay in 6th grade. In this unit, students will actively engage in using long-handled rackets in game-like situations by hitting the ball gently back and forth without teacher prompting. They will engage in the physical activity while demonstrating responsible interpersonal behavior with their partners. Possible assessments are not limited to checklists, observation, exit slips, and peer feedback. Target games can create fun challenges for middle school students. They are also activities they can do with their families and friends for the rest of their lives. This target game unit can be used with games such as bowling, bocce ball, or horseshoes. Students will execute an underhand roll in a target game. They will vary the speed and trajectory of the roll based on the location of the object in relation to the target in small-sided target games, while independently using sports equipment appropriately and safely. Possible assessments are not limited to checklists, rubrics, observation, peer or teacher feedback, or tests and quizzes. At the high school level, the focus shifts to fitness, wellness, lifetime activities, and personal choice. The focus of this unit is assessing personal heart rates. Students will utilize materials provided by the teacher to calculate target heart rate and heart rate zones and apply that information to a personal fitness plan. Students will then conduct the fitness plan for a predetermined period of time and track heart rate during each activity session. They will analyze each performance and make adjustments for pacing their heart rate to keep it in the target zone using available technology to self-monitor aerobic intensity. At the end of the time period, students will analyze the health benefits of performing activities in their heart rate zones. Possible assessments are not limited to portfolios, projects, students' performance analysis, tests, quizzes, checklists, or rubrics. If you're feeling the need for refreshers regarding the standard implementation process, this slide shows you all the videos that have been created to assist you. They can be accessed at both the MDE Physical Education and MnShape websites. Next, I'd like to recognize how you, as physical educators, are raising up the concept of social emotional learning in our standards in your gymnasiums. Social emotional learning has always been integrated into physical education standards. As defined by CASEL, SEL is the process through which children and adults acquire, and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Let's take a look at the 5 core SEL competencies. Self-awareness, which includes skills such as identifying emotions, recognizing strengths, and a sense of self-confidence. Self-management, which includes skills such as stress management, self-discipline, and goal setting. Responsible decision-making, which includes skills such as identifying problems, analyzing situations, and reflection. Relationship skills, which include skills such as communication, social engagement, and resolving conflict. And social awareness, which involves skills such as empathy, appreciating diversity, and respecting others. The 5 SEL core competencies are interrelated and often operate simultaneously and include skills that are significantly correlated to success in school, work, and life. Here's an example of how SEL competencies are integrated into the physical education standards. The focus of Standard 4 is that students exhibit responsible personal and social behavior that respects self and others. Here are some examples of SEL core competencies and related skills under Standard 4 in the relationship skills focus area. 7th graders problem solve with a small group of classmates during small group initiatives or gameplay, which is an SEL-related skill of social engagement. 8th graders cooperate and problem solve with classmates in large group initiatives or gameplay, which is an SEL-related skill of working cooperatively. And high school students apply positive communication skills and strategies to the completion of a group task in a physical activity setting, an SEL-related skill of communication. We will talk more about SEL in an upcoming presentation on February 8th, 2024, when we address equity, diversity, and inclusion in physical education. And speaking of equity, diversity, and inclusion in physical education, I want to give a big shout out for those of you who have initiated unified physical education in your schools. Unified physical education provides a unique opportunity for students with and without disabilities to come together through ongoing educational and physical activities using the power of Special Olympics. Unified physical education is structured around state standards and benchmarks and supports the development of leadership skills for all students, as well as the empowerment of all students to foster an inclusive class and school-wide environment. Here's 2 great examples of Minnesota physical educators implementing unified physical education at their schools. Elementary physical educator Tom Roberts says that unified physical education has taught our students to be more empathetic, kind, and aware of our students with disabilities. High school physical educator Lisa Smith and her students from her unified course hosted a school-wide inclusion assembly with the theme Words Matter, ending the use of the R word. Her hope is that students will learn to treat each other with respect and kindness, no matter their intellectual or physical capabilities. I highly encourage all of you to follow Tom and Lisa's lead and investigate the option of starting a unified program at your schools. To assist you in that process, be sure and download the Unified Physical Education Resource Guide that is actually co-authored by MinShape and MinDape member Dr. Sue Tarr from Mankato State University. The document includes options for integrating physical activity, fitness, sports, health, wellness, nutrition, and student leadership into the class and broader student community. It can be downloaded from the Shape America Unified Physical Education webpage. You can also get more information about initiating unified physical education in your school at the Minnesota Special Olympics website. Now I want to take a moment and recognize and congratulate the 2023 MnShape Teachers of the Year. I'm sad to say my mom passed away during the 2023 convention, and I missed my first conference in years. So I want to take this opportunity to say congrats. This is a huge accomplishment for all these incredible Minnesota teachers. The awards honor and recognizes the outstanding services and contributions in physical education. All these teachers will now be eligible to compete as Central District Teacher of the Year, and if they win, they will move on to the Shape America National Teacher of the Year competition in each of their categories. Joe McCarthy is from Farmington Area Schools, recognized as a 2023 MnShape Elementary Physical Education Teacher of the Year. Heather Bird from Winnie-Mac Public Schools, recognized as a 2023 MnShape Middle School Physical Education Teacher of the Year. Brooks Helgett is from DeSalle Cacado Schools, recognized as the 2023 MnShape High School Physical Educator of the Year. Steve Chaplin is from St. James Public Schools, recognized as the 2023 MnShape Health Education Teacher of the Year. Jackie Stoffel from Bemidji Schools, recognized as the 2023 MnShape Adaptive Physical Education Teacher of the Year. And Blake Beatnik Lasaint from Mr. Blake's Swim Academy, recognized as the 2023 MnShape Aquatics Teacher of the Year. I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize 3 Minnesota exceptional teachers who have been recognized as not only Minnesota Teachers of the Year, but have been recognized as Central District Teachers of the Year. And finally, the ultimate accomplishment of being identified as the National Teachers of the Year in their areas. They include Randy Spring from South Washington County Schools, recognized as a 2023 Shape America National Elementary Physical Educator of the Year. Jen Hebing from Buffalo Hanover Montrose School District, recognized as the 2022 Shape America National Adaptive Teacher of the Year. And Jessica Matheson from Chanhassen, recognized as the 2022 Shape America National Health Education Teacher of the Year. MnShape also recognizes outstanding services and contribution in other areas. Tyler Van Home from Alexandria Public Schools was recognized as the Young Professional of the Year. Dr. Christy Malley from Winona State University received the Lou Keller Award for Outstanding Contributions as a University Professional. Dr. Marlene Tappy from Mankato State University received the Carl Knutson Award for Outstanding Services in Health Education. Heather Bird from Winnie-Mac Public Schools received the Paul Schmidt Award for Outstanding Services as a K-12 Physical Educator. And Power Up received the Health and Fitness Advocacy Award for contributions to support health and physical education, recreation, and dance. I've had the pleasure of working with all these award winners and am simply so proud of each and every one of them for these well-deserved recognitions. Now I'd like to recognize MnShape's outstanding leadership. I've had the honor of serving as both a board of directors member and as an executive committee member over the years, and I've experienced the commitment and dedication of these individuals to our profession. This slide recognizes the 2023 to 2024 executive board members. That includes Megan McCullum from Robbinsdale School District as the executive director, Deb Van Cleave from Stillwater Schools as the new president, Annika Culver as the new president-elect, and Lisa Smith from Lakeville Schools as the secretary. Also pictured in this slide are some of the members of the 2023 Board of Directors who worked tirelessly with the executive board to provide Minnesota teachers with the services and resources needed in health and physical education. Thank you all for your service. I am proud to be able to work alongside you. Finally, I'd like to recognize the Minnesota Developmental Adaptive Physical Education Leadership Committee. The total committee membership consists of 10 to 15 professionals with a mission to serve individuals concerned with quality physical education for students with disabilities. The State Leadership Committee is comprised of representatives from the Minnesota Department of Education, Higher Education, selected at-large members, and DAPE teachers. The major areas of focus are program planning and implementation, resources and advocacy, and pre-service and in-service development. Here are the members of the MnDAPE Leadership Committee. Regions 1 and 2, Nicole Johnson, Park Rapids Area Schools, and Kelsey McLean, Thief River Falls Public Schools. Region 3, Leanne Vish, Duluth Public Schools, and Kate Oling, retired Duluth Public Schools. Region 4, Megan Johnson, Minnesota State University, Moorhead, and Heidi Fisher, Moorhead Public Schools. Region 5 and 7, Jennifer Heben, Buffalo Public Schools, and Pete Wesby, DeSalle Cacado District Public Schools. Region 6 and 8, Barb Eilers, Wilmer Public Schools. Region 9, Sue Bramer, retired Cannon Falls Public Schools. Region 10, Pete Johnson, Red Wing High School, and Holly Feldman, Byron Public Schools. And Region 11, Diane Shaw, Mounds View High School, and Justin Lund, Bloomington Public Schools. Also included are Shelley Holloway, Bemidji State University, Mike Doyle, Cloquet Public Schools, and the committee is led by Rich Burke, DAPE Specialist, Low Incidence Projects at MDE. This ends today's celebratory presentation. I again thank all of you for your dedication and commitment to our students. You make a big difference in their lives, and I want to take every opportunity I have to remind you of that. Thanks, everyone.